Hello and welcome to today's live session. Thanks for joining. Look, hopefully we're going to get some really good buying opportunity, provided the market doesn't do it in the next 5 minutes before the market open. I'm hopeful that we'll have some really nice rallies. We are below the yearly R2. Just check out that pre-market video on the shorts. It's only about a minute and a half, but it explains what I'm expecting or hoping for. There is the chance that the market may just fall away. So we've got to be really careful that the market just doesn't just go one direction. I will be looking for buy opportunities to target the previous day's low and the close gap. But yeah, just be sure to check out the pre-market analysis. We may kind of range as well. So being a Friday as well, it's the 21st of the month. It shouldn't be too much of an issue, but being a Friday, we may just sell off for the day. So that's always a bit of a concern. Just bear with me one moment. So just check out the pre-market video if So we've got the big round number. I am getting in now. I know it's pre-market, but because we're at this outer level, it's the outermost level, and it just feels like I'm just really hopeful that we're going to get a good, strong buying situation at the open and in the lead up. So just, obviously be careful if you're going to, probably don't copy what I do because I get it wrong a lot. So just... I am looking for buys, but at the same time, this market could fall away all day, and it does do that. So just be really careful. Do your own research, all of that. Don't try this at home because I'm getting in. I'm hopeful that we'll hit this target up in the previous day's low. I'm already down like $400. So thanks for joining, Christopher. Great to see you again, mate. I'm looking for a really nice solid buy at the open. I'm going to try and get a couple more contracts into this one because we are at the outermost level. If this doesn't work, then I'm out for the day. Like if we fall away, then I'm just going to close the session. But if we do go back into the expected trading scenario, then that's what I'm expecting and what I'm hoping for. Then we'll be sitting very nicely. We've got sort of 30 seconds till open. 20 seconds. All right, that's been stopped out as well. My finger's on the trigger. I've got my ATM strategy there though. One. It's going to jump around here at the open. Next 8 seconds, 5 seconds. And all right, the market's open. Ugh. See if we can get a big spike up. All right, big spike up. We've got, we're like 600-700 down from those pre-market trades. Look, this is why I never trade pre-market. It never works out for me. But I've got my ATM strategy in, and let's hope we have a nice strong push up. I am targeting the previous day's low and close, so we'll see if that gets hit. Look, I'm down quite a bit, unfortunately. It's a bit frustrating. So just watching the open P&L. Look, if this does go down though, just be careful. It really could just take off and just go down for a long time. It'd be very bearish. as a whole. So we've got the open P&L. Notice the difference. So we've got the open P&L down here, which is USD, and then up here it's the euro because we're trading the DAX. The ATM strategy, notice how it's moved that stop to break even, or $50 up above break even to account for any slippage. And we'll see if it comes all the way back down. That'll be a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. Yep, it's taken me out. I'm going to hit buy again. And I might just get out, as Chris mentioned, just, I'll take a bit of a snip out here and there, perhaps. Look, it's looking pretty bearish. We came up and tapped that S3, and now it's just sort of falling away. So it's not great. It doesn't look great. It is not a good start to the day, I tell you. Should have closed at 500, but because it was kind of bouncing off this S3, but I'm buying again. Just hopeful that we can get a nice big spike up and target this previous day's close and low. Look, I'm somewhat confident, but at the moment we can't kind of fall away from this level is when I don't know what the market's up to, because it just doesn't quite make sense, and it's probably going to fall away for the rest of the day. There's other things at play other than the pivot points. So just got to be wary of that when you're trading analysis, that what you're looking at isn't the be all and end all. There's a lot of factors at play. There's many guiding hands that I guess move the market. It'd be really good if I can get just a good solid move up, but at the same time, it may not happen. So I'm hopeful. Look, stops are there at break even again. That's okay. I could take 500 off the table right now. 23.025. Yeah, look, I think it may sort of teeter here for a lot, for the first sort of hour. Realistically, maybe I'd be best just taking the profits as they spike up and then get back in when it comes back down. I should do that, but I'm just seeing what goes on. Look, it's really frustrating when it goes past my stop like that. Really frustrating. So I'm going to get in. Again. Look, I want to see a nice push off this level. If it goes the other way, I'm thinking of probably getting short. Like if it drops down, I think that's kind of like a confirmation that we're going south. But I'm still hopeful. Okay, that's a really good movement. Exit. Okay, I took probably about 700 out. And of course, this is probably the moment when it'll break the highs. But I've cleaned up my P&L a little bit. I'm only down 325, which is probably about $400 odd. All right, 53 contracts there. Something's going on here at this price. So 23.013 on the full DAX futures. Somebody's either buying or selling. That could be aggressive selling. This could be a sell limit. Otherwise, this market's going to go up. Yeah, I got out. Look, it's always the way. So whatever I do, often the market will do the opposite. So I've stayed in, came back down, hit me out 3 or 4 times. And now you can see I've closed out to try and take that profit. And now the market's going the other way. What I did last night was I got in, I quickly closed out, and then the market didn't hesitate. It didn't sort of come back once. So frustrating. It is what it is. But yeah, the market's really just not, it's almost like it knows that I'm getting out, and then it does the move that I expected. But when I stay in, it just comes back and taps me out, break even every time. So really quite frustrating. We might get a bit of a turnaround. Otherwise, we're just heading straight up long. So frustrating. Look, I'm going to hit buy again. Oh, that's a big order there. 77. look, that could be either aggressive selling, or I've seen this happen and the market just does something funny where it just puts in these massive orders and moves in the same direction. I think I'm probably going to get stopped out here again. That's all right. And this is why I'm putting in the DAX ATM strategy. Because I make mistakes all the time and I want to stop my trades from taking too much heat. Like, I've been able to recover every day so far. I think, 2 days. So 2 days in a row I've been able to recover. Yeah, literally, like, and then if you go and put another, if you put another account on like opposite, it literally just doesn't work. So if you have one losing account, one, I guess, should be winning account, it just doesn't actually respect it. It's just insane. Now that market's popped. So we're going to get a turnaround at some point. I'm going to close that there. Okay, so I'm back into break even. So see how we had this massive order, it turned the market back down for a little bit, but then we had really thin volume and just kept going up. So that's been happening a bit, and it's almost like it's like buy limits at these points rather than aggressive selling. So it's very interesting. I'm $25 up now. We're 1,500 up overall. I've got a 20K target. We'll see what happens now, but realistically, I really think we're going all the way up to this previous day's low. I know it's a Friday, and often the market is bearish, but we've had such a pullback. Just pull this out a little bit, see if we can get a bigger picture of what's going on. So look at that massive decline. So off that R2, in the analysis yesterday, I said sells off the R2. If you had to put a limit order in, you'd be laughing right now. You'd be like 500 points up. 500 points up if you just put a limit order based on what I was hoping for in the market. Obviously you'd take a little bit of heat, all that, but in essence, I kind of called it, if you're going off a like limit order setup, called it just to the T, but I'm not waiting around to trade it manually like that. So look, it's not the worst situation. I did take a lot of losing trades, but I've been able to recover and come back to break even. I don't know how many fees I've actually taken on that trek, but it is what it is. That's all right. 1,500 up. I've got another 18.5 to go. So I've got a lot of ground to make up. I think last night I made 5, 6, must have been 600-700 USD, because the first night I made about 800. So on average, probably making about 700 USD every day. Well, yeah, 750, because I've made it twice now, 2 days. This is day 3. It's not looking so grand, but I've seemingly make the money after this live session. So you've got that volatility. It kind of takes you out when you're trading with these really tight stops. And then the market kind of says, right, we're picking a direction. Very unfortunate, I got out so many times at break even, and then I manually closed one time. And then, very frustrating. It happens all the time. But if I kept holding that, it'd probably just go down. Wouldn't even go up. So it is what it is. But yeah, I really do need to try one day just doing limit orders and setting like a limit order that says, right, this is your analysis and don't look at it. I think I'd probably do quite well, but I just don't have it in me. I've hit buy again. All right, I'm in. We might have a bit of a pullback, a bit more of a pullback here before we go up, but I'm super hopeful that we're going to go up. I just really am. I know everything points that the market should be going down. It's a Friday where we've been outside the S3, but that in my eyes, that's also a buy opportunity because we've taken such heat. We're now down below that yearly R2. Hopefully that yearly R2 might hold as of today and not actually close below, but we'll see. So, and that's the other thing. So the previous day's low is still above the yearly R2. So it hasn't fully accepted below this level just yet. So I'm going to watch the volume. I'm going to try and make a couple more trades. I'm going to hit buy again there because we've got the big guy sitting there on a buy limit, I think. Ah, no, that's selling. Never mind, never mind. Yeah, I guess it's probably a good way to look at it, taking a partial close, but yeah. There's a lot of things I should be doing that I probably have not done, and I probably should, but taking partial orders, I just feel like it dilutes the opportunity so much. You know, you take all this heat, and then I guess the reason I closed out was to kind of square up a lot of that losing trades that I did earlier. Look, the reason I'm buying, we've hit the midline, we're close to that S3, the outer limit, and I'm still bullish. Like I'm just bullish. So we may take a couple more hits. The market could fall away. So yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, last night I could have left some really good trades on, and the night before actually, I think. But anyway, I didn't. I closed them out, and then the market said, "Oh, he's out of the trades. It's time to move the market." Anyway, what's on for the weekend, Christopher? Do you have anything exciting planned? I'll probably just be hanging out with family at home. Hopefully, knowing that my account is, let's say, $6,000 higher than what we started at, but we'll have to get some serious moves in the market before we see that. So I'm still positive, but we are taking a bit of a downward candle here. We've got a minute and a half of this candle before we go on to the next 5 minutes. So I'm just hopeful that we will have a nice solid push back up to these highs and beyond. The trouble with the apex, with the trailing drawdown though, is like you can't just let things run that easily, because then it squeezes you out with the trailing drawdown, and especially if it like comes back and you get closed out, you've got all that potential high watermark left on the table that has now squeezed your trailing max. So it's really tricky stuff. Another 1 minute to go. Hopefully we can start moving up. You know, this is just a wick, and then the next candle will be like the buying period. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. Of course, if you're following this, cool. That's exciting. Do you dress up and everything? Like, do you get in the full kit, or? It's always quite an interesting thing to go see, is like how much effort people go into to like do their costumes and like all the cosplay. It's pretty nuts. I remember seeing a World of Warcraft orc just properly decked out, but it turns out they worked in the industry, so they knew exactly how to do it. But it was pretty cool to see. Yeah, awesome. Very cool. All right, so we're on a new 5 minute candle here. We're up €500. Well, we were up €500, but the market's now declining heavily. Stops are at break even, but I've been getting some slippage tonight, which is very frustrating. We'll see if we get that rally. We do have that bit of a fake pullback, so it looks like aggressive selling to me. But on that new candle, often we get the opposite of what's probably going to happen. Look, it may be just pure selling, but often we do get a bit of a reverse kind of setup there. So we're in profit. I could close it for profit, but I'm not ready to. But because as I said earlier, every time I get out, the market then goes in my favor. So I'm sorry, all you long holders, I'm staying in this one for a little bit. Yeah, they spend a fortune on these things, especially like, I guess, the makeup, the props. I don't know if a lot of people use like styrofoam, but all of the styrofoam art is like super expensive to order the artistic type of stuff, and then like the heat guns, everything. It's pretty crazy. All right, so we've kind of come down close to that mid-band line. Hopefully we get a bit of traction shortly. Okay, I'm back in. So you'll see here the total P&L. I'm just at break even, or just going back down to a loss now. But see, and when I hit break even, I really want to close out and say, right, I didn't lose any money today. That's fine, but I'm going to keep trading. I'm determined today that the market's going to go up. I know it's a Friday. I know it's super bearish overnight. Do I have the tenacity to hold it? I don't know. I'm really tempted to just close out and just call it, but you know what? The amount of times I don't stick to my pre-market analysis and then the market does exactly what I said, it's very frustrating. But good for the viewers, I guess. You know, if people come along, they watch, they take notes, and they're a better trader than I am, they could do quite well just off the back of the analysis. It's just my mentality around trading, holding when I shouldn't, and then getting out when I shouldn't. Just all the wrong things at the moment anyway. So look, we're still up. We're still up overall, so you know, it's not like I'm losing money hand over fist, but it's just frustrating. Oh wow, that's amazing. But you'll have to, I don't know if you have my email, but send me a pic. It'd be cool to see it. Yeah, send me some pics on email. That'd be awesome to see what it looks like, because that's very cool. All right, we've got a big order here, 23. I'm hoping that's somebody saying, right, I'm buying. No, the market's falling away. So potentially that was an ask limit, like a limit sell order, falling away. It's very much a waiting game, 20 minutes. Cool, yeah, do that. That'd be awesome. I'm probably not going to be on. I've got actually a lot of things going on here outside of trading, so I'll be quite busy probably over the weekend, to be honest. But I'll jump on and check it out once you send a pic through. But I won't be on there tonight for trading, so just be aware of that. This market's really just teetering. It's as soon as we break these highs, I think we're going to have a really nice strong rally. But it's just teasing the people that get, people like me that are going to be like, oh, I just want to take my profits and go. Yeah, look, it's probably going to come down, to be honest, and take me out at break even. But it is what it is. I'm getting a little bit tired of closing out manually, only to see the market. Oh my god! Right, I'm getting back in, only to see the market, take off in the direction I expected anyway. So anyway, I'm in again. I really think this market's going to move. I'm just not sure when. Of course, any traders watching, just be very careful, because I do get it wrong when I'm in the moment. Just watch those pre-market analysis to get a feel for what should happen, and let's see if the market does respect it. Here we go. It did come out. It stopped me out. It did that stupid thing it always does, but I got back in manually. So I'd love to see it just push through these levels. Really love to see that. I'm down. I've realized $500 loss. I'm currently up $500. USD. So I'm just really hoping we can get a nice push up. It's all we need is once we break these highs, I think this is going to go really quick. I think it's going to be really thin volume up perhaps to that yearly R2. It's just not happening. Unbelievable. That's a downward wick as well, so it's not looking great, I have to say. We're at the bottom there. What am I, down 500? Look, we're at that midline again. We're very close to the S3. Getting a bit of volume build up here. It's jumping around more and more. It's not looking great, is it? Oh. Okay. I pressed the button and it kind of jumped, so I'm in for 2 contracts now. Let's see if we can make a good run of this. If we do go below the S3, I'm probably going to get out. Like it's once we hit below here, I'm done for. But just at the moment, while it's teetering around, I really think it's got to come up towards, at least towards that previous day's low. It may not get all the way, but if it can get a good distance, that's some good trading there. So even at today's highs, at this green line here, it's 1700, which is probably about 1900 USD. So a couple of grand, which is quite good. Oh, is it? Where are the highs for today? Look, we're getting some motion now. I'm in for 2 contracts, is probably why it looks like a bigger deal. But look, if we break this here, I'm going to be very, very happy. Everything's at break even, so that's all right. And if I zoom up, if I go all the way up, there's meant to be, I'm meant to exit at 6K, but there's no take profit there. So I'm not sure what the ATM does when I add another contract. We're at 1300. Look, I'm tempted. Oh, I want to hit the close button. Okay, there's the move I was waiting for. Are we going to keep going further? Look, I've hit close. I'm up $1,000. So now the account's at $302,800. DAX multiplier. I'm on the full DAX contracts because I'm on a 300k account. So this week, it's day 3, I guess. I'm up 2,850. So it's not bad for a week's work, or the last 3 days. And I've gotten out early on every single good trade that I've done. I've gotten out early every single time. There's probably at least double left on the table, like at least. But I'm up. So I haven't lost. This DAX, the DAX trade ATM strategy is really working out for me. I probably could have taken so much heat on some of these trades, and I've taken some losses, really small losses, but then I'm able to get back in and have a few more goes. And that's the good thing about the bigger account, is I can have a bit more of a play around. It's a lot more worth it. Like if I was able to make 2,800, take 10% off that, so let's say 2,600, say, profit, and then across 20 accounts, that's some serious money there. And that's, I haven't had any amazing trades by any means. They've been okay, but not amazing. So anyway, guys, that's it from me. I'm pretty happy with that. Up, 1,200 euro, just about. Still bullish, but I've made the money. I haven't made the perfect trades. I'm not really in it straight away. I'll jump on. Probably not tonight though. Let's have a chat on maybe Monday, and I'll go over it because it can be quite helpful. I think when, for example, I don't get out of losing trades. I just don't do it. So I hold these massive losing orders, and it's just ridiculous. So these close me out. It automatically moves the stops and all that kind of thing. So I'll explain it all out. I might actually make a proper video and try and map it out really clearly, because now I kind of get what's going on. It's working for me. So, and look, yeah, 2,800 for the week. It started, this is day 3. So pretty happy with that. If you can do that every week, you'll be doing all right, especially if you can get 20 accounts. Anyway, now that market is moving as I expected. Just be cautious, guys, around this yearly R2, because it's a yearly level. We've got the S2 and the breakout short as well. So look, I think we'll get up here, but there is concern that one of these levels might see some rejection. So just be wary that you might get some pullbacks around these levels. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Christopher, have a great weekend. Enjoy LuxCon, and can't wait to see that costume. See you.